I was recently on an AI panel, and afterwards I thought it would be helpful to share some of the questions we discussed and how I've been thinking about them. A lot of AI conversations today stay very abstract: tools, features, predictions. But what I want to do here is make this very practical, especially for business owners and leaders who are trying to make real decisions. One of the core questions from the panel was, how is AI going to change business, leadership, and competition over the next few years? I think the answer becomes much clearer when we slow down and break it into those three areas. First, how is AI changing business? The first major shift is that AI is collapsing the cost of knowledge work, and this is huge. For decades, businesses paid for answers, interpretation, research, drafts, and expertise locked inside people's heads. If you were a lawyer, accountant, consultant, or analyst, a large part of your value was simply knowing things. AI changes that reality. Today, a client can ask AI a legal or accounting question and get a competent first-pass answer in seconds, essentially for free. That doesn't mean professionals disappear, but it forces a shift from selling information to selling judgment, context, trust, and execution. And this doesn't just affect knowledge workers, it affects every business that uses them. Manufacturers, contractors, service companies can now embed knowledge inside their organization instead of renting it at an externally high cost. The key question for leaders becomes, what part of our value is still becoming a commodity and what part is still scarce? The second shift is that AI gives small teams extreme leverage, and this is where Price's Law really matters. Price's Law says that the square root of the number of people working on a team produces roughly half the output. So what does that mean? In a 100-person organization, about 10 people are doing half the work. In a 9-person team, roughly 3 people are doing half the work. But the real insight isn't the math, it's what's happening inside the organizations as they grow. As teams get larger, waste grows faster than productivity. Coordination costs explode, meetings multiply, decisions slow down, and accountability diffuses. Most people aren't unproductive, they're trapped inside systems that make high performance difficult. Now add AI. AI doesn't magically make top performers better. It removes friction that was hiding waste. It collapses handoffs, eliminates busy work, and exposes roles that exist primarily to manage complexity AI has already removed. The people who already think clearly and take ownership suddenly pull much further ahead, while everyone else becomes obviously more redundant. This connects directly with the Pareto principle, the idea that 20% of the people produce 80% of the results. Price's Law and the Pareto principle describe the same reality from different angles. Most organizations are already being carried by a very small group. They just haven't designed the business to admit that. And here's the dangerous mistake leaders make. Most companies design compensation for fairness, not leverage. That worked when output was hard to measure and leverage was limited. AI breaks that. AI makes leverage visible. If one person can now do the work of 5 and they're paid the same, treated the same, and constrained the same, they won't stay. And when your best people leave, AI amplifies what remains. You don't protect culture, you hollow out the organization. And the third major shift in business is that AI forces companies to make strategic choices they can no longer avoid. Do we scale or do we radically get more efficient? Let's make this concrete. Imagine a $5 million company operating at a 10% margin, so a $500,000 profit. The team costs are already baked into that number. Now AI enters the picture. On the scale path, you keep roughly the same team and overhead, but using AI to dramatically increase output. If AI allows you to double revenue to 10 million without doubling headcount, most of that incremental value drops right to the bottom line. In reality, profit doesn't just go from 500,000 to perhaps 1 million. It often goes to 1.5 or even 2 million because of the original team costs were already accounted for. But there is a risk. Scaling requires new customers, new demand, marketing spend, sales cycles, and competitive pressure. The upside is higher, but so is the uncertainty. On the flip side of that is the efficiency path. It starts from a place of certainty. You already have the revenue. Instead of chasing growth, you use AI to eliminate redundant work, reduce coordination overhead, and intentionally shrink cost structures. If you improve margins from 10 to 20%, that same $5 million business now generates $1 million in profit without adding customers, markets, or risk. So the real insight in this is scaling has higher upside, efficiency has higher probability. The mistake leaders make is drifting between the two, keeping old cost structures while hoping AI magically produces growth. This is where Parkinson's law becomes dangerous. Work expands to fill the time available. While AI compresses time, but without intentional constraints, organizations just expand the work to fill the new speed. More reports, more meetings, more internal bureaucracy. The leadership question becomes, if this now takes 20 minutes instead of 2 hours, should it really exist at all? Don't optimize it, eliminate it. How AI changes leadership. That's the second area that we're going to talk about. AI fundamentally changes leadership in this way. Leadership shifts away from managing effort towards designing systems. The leader's real job becomes designing how decisions get made consistently without them. If you don't design the system designs itself, and usually poorly. Most businesses don't slow down because people are lazy. They slow down because everything runs through the owner. There's a decision bottleneck. People lack context, avoid accountability, or don't know how to decide. AI enables what I call second brains, not to replace leaders, but to scale them. These systems codify judgment, decision logic, and principles so decisions don't bottleneck at the top. But the real power move isn't cloning yourself, it's improving yourself. Strong leaders use AI to challenge assumptions, stress test strategy, and surface blind spots. Weak leaders use AI to confirm what they already believe. AI should be a mirror, not a crutch. And in the third area, how AI is changing competition. AI collapses the time between idea and execution. In the past, size protected companies. Now speed compounds faster than scale. Two companies can have access to the same tools. The one that implements faster pulls ahead and then pulls away. As execution costs drop, margin compression becomes strategic. Companies can now lower price intentionally, trade margin for market share, and experiment with far less downside than before. This punishes companies that carry excess costs and protect inefficiency. The hardest part of AI, though, isn't technical, it's psychological. AI can make 2 years of work obsolete in an afternoon. Organizations that cling to sunk costs will struggle. Organizations that can rebuild calmly will survive. AI rewards adaptability more than intelligence. So in closing, when you zoom out, AI isn't just automating tasks, it's collapsing the cost of knowledge, exposing waste, amplifying leverage, and forcing hard economic choices and redefining leadership. This isn't about replacing people, it's about designing organizations that reward contribution, judgment, and leverage in a world where knowledge is no longer scarce. The winners won't be the biggest or the loudest, they'll be the ones who adapt early and intentionally.